Thanks for coming by. This is Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia, on the Pro-Brick Exclusive and Pro-Theologist channels. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the information on psychology through theology. I try and keep it as simple as I can. And last time we spoke about the mouth of an adulterous woman and how it leads you into a place where you find it very, very difficult to psychologically recover from. That's the deep pit. And this happens to people that are out of sort with the Lord, but it also happens to people that are deceived as well. For the ones that are out of sort with the Lord, they get annihilated, and some will commit suicide and other atrocities they will do to themselves. They're going to reap disaster whether they're with the Lord or not, and be it as simple as wasting time. The adulteress has a way of just seeking out supply. She just wants people for supply. She wants to get as much masculinity and supply as she can. That's the object. That's what she's trying to do. And the pit, the psychological pit, could take years and years to come out of if you're not trained in the way of the adulteress. They're clever. They know what they're doing. They're cunning. They have their agenda. And this is a little bit of what you might look out for. The woman named Folly is loud. Now, they're boisterous. They like to be the center of attention. They play naive. That's how they get you in the bedroom. And as if they know nothing. They got no restraint. They advertise themselves as available wherever they can. And they'll make it clearly known that they're available. And it doesn't matter who it is. These are the people that make their path straight. This is the one who's simple, and she's looking for anyone that she can get supply from. You have to understand this. They won't let you know that that's all they're doing. They love what they're doing, and the whole thing's consequential. Absolutely negatively consequential. Psychologically crippling. Many a man has fallen in love with these covert narcissistic women. They'll love bomb you at the start and take you in. They'll cook dinner for you. They'll take you to bed. They'll shower with you. They'll see you off to work. Then all of a sudden, they begin the devalue phase. And the deep pit starts. You start to wonder, what have I done wrong? What can I do better? Where am I lacking? Why ain't this working? You were deceived. You were deceived. As soon as devalue stage starts, because there were many that went before you, she advertises herself again. New supply. They have layers of supply, different levels of supply, and when you try and resolve the thing, guess what? The key words here is nothing. When you needed resolve, they did nothing. They just play the naive role. And it's passive-aggressive nuclear. It's nuclear passive-aggressive, the naive, knows nothing spiel. It's psychologically crippling. because you thought you knew that person and you thought they were able to fix things, but you missed the red flags. The boisterousness, that's the predator, and the naivety and knows nothing later during the course of after the initial love bomb stage. They can pretend to know nothing about chastity. There they hit the bedroom and go hard. That's a way of infiltrating your boundaries and getting influence over you. But when you go around in the full circle, it all comes back to this. They pretend to be naive and know nothing, and that way they don't have to fix anything. They've got their tasty morsel out of the person, be it male or female. Female covert narcissists will engage with females without any question. If the circumstances are right and the stars align, any hole will do. But that's where it ends up. Dead in sin. You're just dead in sin. Nothing good comes out of it. And we go on to verse 15. Foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of discipline drives it far from them. They say there's a lot of infantile mentality stuck in the mind of the sinful person, the sinful nature person, narcissist, another personality disorders, and this brings foolishness with it. This is the straying from common sense. This is the, really when you think about it, it's the naivety and ignorance of Proverbs 8 playing out. When you think about it, we're all born with this fallen nature in our heart. Nobody's exempt. It does penetrate others more than some. But discipline has a way of dealing with it to an extent. Some people rebel against this discipline. And when you are in a relationship and you have to deal with some issues, and you're facing the inner child of your partner, they're starting to fall to pieces, they're starting to go back into their trauma, childhood traumas, and they're now punishing you for them. The rod of discipline can bring a revelation to that person. Speaking up can bring a revelation to these people that can help them to come out of the simpleton side of their thinking, the naivety, and bring them into a place where they can begin to become wise. See, wisdom's not just something you're born with. Wisdom's something that you have to learn and then learn from. Because we tend towards foolishness. And the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God, can help us to move away from our infantile mentalities. Verse 16. Oppressing the poor to enrich oneself, or giving gifts to the rich, will surely lead to poverty. You see, with the sinful nature person or the narcissist or whatever other personality disorder you might be dealing with, there's no point you trying to enrich yourself with somebody that's rich in the wrong way. The rich and the poor have this in common: the Lord is the maker of them all. Oppressing the poor to enrich oneself or giving gifts to the rich will surely lead to poverty. The way in which you are oppressing somebody is to, and I felt oppressed. I always feel overtaken by oppression when things don't get resolved. And this is the narcissist and the flying monkeys. They enrich themselves by oppressing you, by triangulating you, mocking, conflict, quarrelling and insults. They are enriching themselves by pulling you down and giving gifts to the rich. This is them. They're trying to reward themselves at your expense, at your cost. This is the narcissist and they're flying monkeys. They don't want you around and you're not getting the message. And it leads to poverty. It leads to psychological breakdown. Oppressing the poor to enrich oneself. There's the narc. Or giving gifts to the rich. There's the flying monkeys. Will surely lead to poverty. The narc can't win either way. It's always going to end in destruction for the narcs. Drive out the narc and conflict will depart. Even quarrelling and insults will cease. When the narc tries to oppress you and then grandioses themselves with their flying monkeys and themselves thinking they're enriched, just know they're going to lead to poverty. But also know, drive the narcissist out and conflict will depart and even quarrelling and insults will cease. Drive them out. Once you've identified it and recognized it, don't waste any more time. I'm Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist. Thank you for joining me, and bye for now.